Hi, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's session, which is called OptiStellar, where we are going to discuss and learn more about optimization score, or what we call OptiScore in short. For some of you, optimization score would be a very new concept, and for others, you might have already mastered on how to best use this feature. Whichever group you fall into, we will make sure that the time you are spending in attending the session is well utilized and you have lots of takeaway, and be even better in managing your campaigns in the future. If you have any questions in the middle of the session, feel free to put it in the chat box and we will answer it shortly. As always, more the questions, the better. We had also floated a pre-session survey where we received some questions and challenges on using optimization score, and we will also cover that during the session. So, before we begin, let me introduce the speakers for today. We have Sitanshu on the call, who is a search specialist and a program lead working on optimization score, and he has conducted several workshops before to help advertisers and agencies like yourself improve their performance with Google Ads. And I am Gaurav Deep, and I am a product and activation lead at Google, working primarily on optimization score. I would also love to understand from you what kind of challenges do you face while using OptiScore so that we can use that information to improve the functionality and create more value for you. Now, if we deep dive into the agenda for today, we will briefly explain what OptiScore is, how can you use it to improve campaign performance, different features of optimization score, and then try to answer some of the frequently asked questions that we have heard from agencies and advertisers. Shitanshu will then talk about automatically applying recommendations and provide a sneak peek of the different things that we have recently launched or about to launch for optimization score. All right. So, if you think about the different things that you do as a marketeer on an ongoing basis, it's a lot. You're involved in planning and working through strategic discussions, implementing the plan in terms of building and managing campaigns at scale. Then you are also involved in optimizing those campaigns to get the best ROI, sometimes multiple business lines. Reporting performance to meet your business KPIs is also one of the key things that you do. And then also troubleshooting when there are any issues. So the entire process of planning, implementing, optimizing, reporting, and troubleshooting, right? This is quite time intensive, and balancing between all of this is quite a tricky job. So we at Google want to help you in each of these stages. So to help you, with say planning, we have launched several tools such as Performance Planner, Keyword Planner, or Reach Planner. For implementation support, we have built Google Ads Editor that can be used to effectively manage campaigns at scale. For reporting, we provide you with several metrics, ready-made and custom reports to enable you to measure your business performance. We also have our help center, which you can always refer to know things, how they work better, along with manual troubleshooting support that we also provide from a where a customer service agent can answer your queries. Similarly, we are on the optimization side of things. We have built what is called the optimization score to assist you understand where the biggest opportunities lie to improve efficiency or growth or both. Now, what is OptiScore? To in brief, optimization score is a score that is given to your campaign or your account, with 100 being the highest. So if your score is anything below 100, that means that the system is able to understand certain areas of improvement in your campaign or account. And those areas are then highlighted in the form of different recommendations shown in the form of cards. Now, each recommendation card would also have a uplift value, which is shown on the top right, which means that once you apply that particular recommendation, then your overall Opti score will improve for your account. Higher the score, bigger is the opportunity for you and should be prioritized first. And when I say higher the score, I mean higher the uplift on a particular card that's present. Now, in order to see this page that's there on your screen, in your Google Ads account, you need to navigate to the recommendations tab, which is the second tab from the top on the left-hand navigation menu. We have more than 90 plus recommendations that are available to surface, but you will only see recommendations which are relevant to your account at that particular point, where we see there is an opportunity to improve your performance. Now, all of these recommendations are grouped into 5 different sections, which are bids and budgets, keywords and targeting, ads and assets, measurement and repairs. And if you only want to see a particular uh, or recommendations for a particular section, you can click on the particular section at the top and understand the opportunities within the section. Now, some recommendations can be directly applied from the interface itself by clicking on the apply button. And for some recommendations, you need to do some additional work in order to get that activated. So, to give you uh, an example of a non, or sorry, an example of a one-click applicable recommendation is adding new keywords. So we surface keywords that are relevant to your business. And once you click on apply, those keywords are implemented in your account at the appropriate ad group. However, for recommendations such as, say, setup conversion tracking, you would need to do some additional steps in placing the tracking code to your website for the conversions to flow into Google Ads. Hence, that would be a non one click recommendation. So that's how you would need to interact with these cards, and that's how you like your OptiScore could potentially improve. Now, if you think a particular recommendation is not relevant for you, we also give you the option to dismiss a recommendation and provide feedback, which we then understand to improve the recommendations and be more relevant to you in the future. Now, using different studies, we have seen that advertisers who had increased their account level score by 10 percentage points had seen a 14% increase in conversion. So, like this, by this, you see the benefit that optimization score drives for your business. Now, in terms of channels or campaign types, optimization score is currently available for all major campaign types, which include search, shopping, display, video, discovery, apps, and performance max campaigns. Uh, the other thing to note is we have OptiScore and recommendations surfaced not only in the Google Ads front end or the website version of Google Ads. However, we also have optimization score in Google Ads mobile app, which we are going to talk about later, Google Ads editor, APIs, and scripts. Now, if we go to the next slide, uh, if you are an agency or advertiser working with multiple accounts and wish to apply recommendations at scale, we give you that option to do so as well. So you can see recommendations at the manager account level and apply from there itself. Similarly, to tackle multiple campaigns and take actions offline, we recommend you use the Google Ads editor to view and apply recommendations. The portion where the recommendations are surfaced in editor is shown in this on the screen. It's slightly on the lower side, so you need to navigate or scroll down to in the left hand pane of editor to view these recommendations. So once you are able to see those recommendations, you would then be able to apply them. One thing to note over here is anything that you do on Google Ads Editor, those are actually not directly published and those are not directly applied. There is an option in Google Ads Editor which says post. So once you click on post, then the changes go live. So Google Ads Editor as a platform, it lets you play around with whatever you would want to do without really affecting your campaigns. So do note that we have all the features which are available in the website version, also available in editor. However, in order to actually implement it in the account, you should be actually posting it. Now, all the recommendations, and like if you move back to the previous slide, all the recommendations that are available in the Google Ads web interface might not be available for editor, and we are working on getting parity between these products. However, most of the recommendations would be available in the editor as well. Now, going to the next slide, there are times that when you need to make a change when you are away from your computer, and the Google Ads mobile app makes it possible to do so. You can now view the latest performance of accounts, campaigns, ad groups, ads, keywords, whatever it is, in the app itself. You can also get notified when key performance changes occur, um, and also make quick changes anytime and everywhere, anywhere through the app. Now, Google Ads mobile app also has optimization score, so you can view what your score is, what the recommendations that the system is recommending, and apply those recommendations on the go. Uh, so you can also enhance your Google Ads experience through real time as well as custom notifications to understand what's changing and hence to keep your campaigns on track. Now, from an optimization score standpoint, the recommendations surfaced on the mobile app are mostly all one click recommendations, which mean it is very easy for implementing the recommendations from the app itself. You can set custom notifications to alert you when your optimization score changes. We have also very recently launched a feature called Auto Applies within the app itself. What Auto Applies is, Shitanshu would cover, in a later section. Also, to visit the recommendations page, it's very easy to do so. You can simply click on the recommendations tab in the bottom navigation bar. So that's like whatever you can do from your website, you can also do it from Google Ads mobile app, and you can do it on the go. So that's the added benefit beyond the notifications that you can also set, which is added functionality with the mobile app. Now, if you wish to download the app right away, the QR code is also added to the slide, which you can scan through your mobile to install the app directly. It is currently present for both Android and iOS, and I would urge you to check it out. It's a very easy way to manage your campaigns. Now, before we move on to the next section, would like to remind you that if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us through the chat option, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Cool. In this section, we will discuss some of the frequently asked questions that we have heard from advertisers and try to answer them. Now, if you go to the first one, there are many marketeers who believe that having a high or a low optimization score has a direct effect on the ad auction, similar to how quality score behaves. Now, what we want to do is we want to bust this particular myth. And if you go to the next slide, optimization score, like mentioned before, is a tool provided by Google to understand the potential and scope of improvement on your accounts and campaigns. It has no impact on how an ad performs or how an account performs in a particular auction. It is simply to provide you guidance on what are the opportunities so that you can uh, you can take your best judgment and action on those recommendations. Now, the second one is that the practitioner should dismiss any recommendation that they don't plan to implement in the short term. Again, if there are some recommendations that you have decided to implement after some time, it is perfectly all right to leave that recommendation as is and action on it afterwards. You should only dismiss a recommendation if you feel it's absolutely not aligned with your business objective. The third myth or the hypothesis that people have that is that once a recommendation is dismissed, it vanishes from the recommendations page forever. Now, again, this is something that's not true. When you dismiss a recommendation, it gets added to the dismissed chip as shown in the screenshot. You can always visit this section and review the recommendations that you have dismissed. We also have a mechanism where, based on a custom logic, we will repopulate the recommendation after a few weeks if the opportunity still exists and is still relevant for your account. Now, finally, we come to the last one. There is another myth that feedback that is provided during dismissing the recommendations is actually not used or is meaningless. I want to clarify that all feedback that we receive are well read through and taken action on. We are always looking to understand what is working well for agencies and advertisers, and then what can be improved so that marketeers like you can more effectively use those features to improve campaign performance. Hence, feedback is very well received and always very welcome. Now, with all that we have covered so far, here is a matrix on how to navigate through some of the complexities of OptiScore. So now on the x-axis, we have a scale of recommendations which need more review before you can implement, and then recommendations which require less review. And on the y-axis, we have the variation of the number of accounts to manage by an agency or advertiser. Now, for recommendations where lesser review is needed from your side, you're confident that these recommendations is always like there is no real need for going into the depths of it. It is very much evident that this recommendation is going to improve performance and is very well tied to your business goals. You can implement them through a feature called auto applies for these repetitive recommendations, and this is something that Shitanshu is also going to cover next. If you want more control on the recommendation and specific criteria on when you would want to apply them, you could do all that using Google Ads script or the Google Ads editor that we talked about before. Anything which is one click, again, Google Ads mobile app, as we talked about, is also a surface that is very, very handy uh, to be on top, to be like to be very useful to apply recommendations. Also, you can, as I discussed, like we can set custom alerts in the mobile app to notify you on the app itself when there has been a significant movement in the score so that you can take actions accordingly. With this, I will hand it over to Sitanshu to cover auto applies in details. But if we do have any questions on the chat, happy to take them as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Gaurav. Thank you so much for that detailed discussion and overview of Optimize and Score, and also covering the very talked about myths around Optimize and Score and its recommendation. I don't see any questions in the chat as of now, but if there's anything that surface, I'll certainly let you know. But
Sure.
yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Great. So far we talked about recommendation and the importance of optimizing score recommendation, more so in the current landscape of agencies where you have to juggle between a lot many tasks. And it becomes critical that you have some ways to optimize your campaign, which can also be automated. And we went ahead a step further and we said, apart from recommendations, what about we allow you to automatically apply some of these recommendations? And that's when the auto apply came into picture. Now, the navigation to auto apply is very simple. You go to recommendation tab, which is the second option in the left pan of your screen on Google Ads logged in. On the recommendation tab, you see there is an auto apply button on the top right corner of your screen. You click on auto apply, and that brings the list of all those recommendations that are currently available to be auto applied. Now, of all the 90 plus recommendations that you get to see in your recommendation tab, there are currently 25 recommendation which is eligible to be auto applied. But let's understand what auto apply does. When you choose to auto apply any of the recommendation in your account or at your MCC level, it automatically apply recommendations whenever they surface in the recommendation tab under that category. So say if I choose to auto apply add responsive search ads, what happens is that the next time a recommendation to add responsive search ads surface on my Google Ads account, that recommendation will automatically be applied to the mapped ad groups and ad campaigns. So that's what auto apply does. It automates the process of applying recommendation to your account and to your campaigns and to your ad groups. Now, let's quickly do an overview of optimize auto apply. But before we do that, let's talk about the benefits that you get by auto applying these recommendations. Now, a very certain and a very obvious benefit that you have is that you get to spend your time wisely. So, when you choose to auto apply some of these recommendations, you end up saving time by automating some of the manual efforts which can be automated, and hence you save time. Now, the saved time can be utilized for other wisely initiatives. You can take strategic initiatives. You can plan your next campaign. You can plan your expansion to the new region. If there is a new launch that is happening at your company or at your client's company, you can plan the campaigns for that new launch. You can also focus on creating new messaging for your campaign, or overhauling the overall approach of your campaign. So, all those strategic initiatives you can take with the time that is saved by opting into auto apply. Another benefit that you get of auto apply is that it helps you capture existing demand. A lot of time when we have our current settings and our current targeting with the campaign, it limits our exposure, it limits the exposure of the campaigns. Now, when you choose to auto apply, it automates some of the best practices of Google Ads and hence allows you to capture all the existing demand. Say, for example, you have a campaign, but because you chose to not follow the best practices of Google Ads, or for some reason, some of the Google Ads best practices were not followed while creating that campaign, the campaign is limited. When you do auto apply and when you choose to auto apply those hygiene recommendations, it will automatically ensure that your campaigns are following best practices, and hence those existing demand that your current targeting is not able to capture will be captured with auto apply in place. Now, auto apply, apart from capturing existing demand, also helps you drive growth opportunities. What it means is that if you have a campaign which can benefit by expanding its targeting, those opportunities can also be tapped in using auto apply. Say, for example, if you choose to auto apply ad keywords, this recommendation will ensure those campaigns which is left out with budget and have a potential to expand gets new keywords added so that your targeting can be grown, and hence you can drive growth opportunities for that particular campaign. If a campaign does not have potential, it does not have budget left out, for those campaigns, however, this recommendation will not apply automatically. You don't have to worry about that either. The auto apply will only apply recommendation which surface under recommendation tab. The another benefit that you have with auto apply is that you have a control enrollment. So auto apply allows you to choose which recommendation you want to opt into for auto apply. It also allows you the accounts that you want to opt into for auto apply. However, you can also choose to apply or choose to opt into auto apply at manager account level, which is your MCC account level. But it gives you a controlled enrollment. What it means is that you are always in control of your enrollment. Say if you choose to opt into 15 of the 25 recommendations today, and tomorrow you decide to opt out of some of those recommendations, you are always in control of doing that. You can always go back to your auto apply list and you can uncheck any of the boxes that you no more want to continue for auto apply. You also have 100% visibility in your change history. So you go to change history, apply a filter for auto apply recommendation, and it gives you a list of all the changes that happened to any of your campaign as a result of opting into auto apply. You also have an option to undo some of those changes in the change history. So you have a controlled enrollment that allows you to choose which account, which recommendation you want to opt into, and it also allows you to disable any recommendation that you want to opt out of at any given period of time. Now, with auto apply, there are primarily two kind of activities that you get to do. When you log into your Google Ads account, you go to recommendation tab and click on auto apply. A menu of recommendation appears with currently 25 recommendation eligible for auto apply. The number can change in the near future if more and more recommendations are added as a possibility for auto apply. When you go to auto apply, there are two things that you get to do. One, you get to select recommendations. As I said, there is a control enrollment, so you get to choose which recommendation you want to opt into. You also get to choose which account you want to opt into. So if you're logged into your manager account, you can choose the list of accounts that you want to opt into for auto apply. The next step is that you get to choose which all recommendation you want to opt into. So for those accounts under a manager account, or for the particular account that you have logged in through Google Ads front end, you can choose which all recommendation you want to opt into. And then you can click on save to apply those recommendations automatically to your campaigns and ad groups. You can opt in to available auto apply recommendation through front end as well as Google Ads editor. Google Ads Editor also allows you to select multiple CIDs. You can also select multiple CIDs as said earlier through Manager account. The next step is that you can manage your enrollment. Once you are opted into some of these recommendations, you also have an option to manage your enrollment. You can go back to History tab within Auto Apply, and then you can choose to disable any of these recommendations at any given point of time. You can also go to your change history and view the changes that happened as a result of opting into auto apply. You also, as I said earlier, have an option to undo some of these changes from change history. As I said, you're always in control. You have the option to opt out, and an opt out journey looks like this as shown on your screen. So when you go to your history tab within auto apply, there is a green dot next to your recommendation that you have opted in. When you click on that drop down, it gives you an option to disable. And once you click on disable, it asks you to confirm if you really want to opt out of that recommendation. And once you click on confirm, that recommendation is opted out. Now let's quickly deep dive into some of these recommendations. If you go to your Google Ads account and go to auto apply tab, there are currently recommendations bifurcated in two different buckets. Bucket 1 called maintain your ads, which currently have 10 recommendations. Now these 10 recommendations are hygiene recommendations and focused on driving efficiency for your campaign management. So if you opt into these recommendations, they are not going to make any major changes to your targeting, but they will help you improve the efficiency of your campaign by focusing on hygiene recommendations. Say for example, if there are ad groups which currently does not have any RSAs, if you choose to add RSAs, those ad groups will be added with one RSA to ensure that you have 100% of RSA coverage across all the ad groups. Similarly, if you have no traffic keywords in some of your ad groups and you choose to remove no traffic keywords, this will ensure that such keywords which is not generating any sort of traffic or any result for your campaign are removed to make your ad groups uncluttered and easy to manage. So these are, there are 10 recommendations, as I said, in the first bucket of maintain your ads. And these are hygiene recommendations there to drive efficiency for your campaign and account management. We'll talk about some of these recommendations in the subsequent slides, but let's look at the other bucket. The other bucket is grow your business recommendation. There are currently 15 recommendations under this bucket. Now, these recommendations are more strategic in nature, and they are there to drive growth to your campaign and to your account performance. A lot of these recommendations, as you can see on screen, is around targeting and also around bidding strategies. So you have target CPA opt-in, target ROAS opt-in, and setting target ROAS and setting CPAs as some of the bid recommendations under Grow Your Business bucket. You also have add DSA, add keywords under the same segment, which is part of targeting. So the Grow Your Business bucket is primarily formed of bids and targeting recommendations, which you can apply to drive growth to your account and to your campaigns. Now let's quickly look into some of the maintain your ads recommendation and understand how they work. Now if you opt in to remove non-serving keywords, what this does is that it looks at last 13 months of data to identify those keywords which either have low search volume or low quality score. And such keywords are removed. The reason that we look at last 13 months of data is to ensure any seasonality is not affecting our selection of non-serving keywords. So if a keyword has no search volume or low quality score across 13 months, then and then only that keyword is considered as a non-serving keywords and removed from your ad group to make your ad group uncluttered and easy to manage. Similarly, we have another recommendation which is called remove redundant keywords. Now to qualify for being called a redundant keyword, the two keywords needs to be part of the same ad group. If you have the same keyword or a near variant of keywords in two different ad groups, they are not considered to be redundant even if they are part of the same campaign. So the two keywords which are near variant of each other needs to be part of the same ad group. They also needs to be in the same match type. If you have the near variant of keywords but in two different match types, we again don't consider them to be redundant. Also, those keywords needs to have different bid strategy, and if they have different bids, they will again not be considered as a redundant keyword. So they need to be part of the same ad group. They also need to have the same match type, and they also need to have same bidding strategy and same bid. Only then the keywords are considered to be redundant if they are near exact in nature. And such keywords will be removed by keeping one variant of it in the ad group to consolidate your efforts and to consolidate all the data to that one particular keyword and to avoid getting an ad group which is very cluttered. Again, this drives efficiency to your ad group and account management. Next we have is called conflicting negative keywords. Now, if you have conflicting negative keywords, um, if you have conflicting negative keywords which is affecting the performance of a say newly created campaign or newly added keywords, this allows you to remove such keywords so that you can manage and your campaign can perform to full of its potential. Say if you buy common smaller errors, you made any, say for example, single word phrase negative, and that single word phrase negative is now hampering newly created campaign to perform to its full potential. Such negative keywords will be removed to allow your keywords and the newly created campaign to flourish and perform at its full potential. The next is search partners. Now, when you opt into auto applying search partners, what this does is this identifies those campaigns which is left out with budget frequently. When those campaigns are filtered, for those campaigns, it identifies the search partners that can drive additional customers at the same CPC or at a lower CPC. Say, for example, you have a campaign created which is mostly left out with budget, and you want to explore the opportunity that you have with the given budget for that campaign. Now, Google will look for search partners that can drive additional customer for that campaign. But that search partner needs to make sure that it can deliver additional customers at either same CPC that you're currently incurring or at a lower CPC. Only in those two cases will the search partner be added. If there is a budget left out and there's a potential of adding a search partner, but that search partner cannot guarantee a lower or a same CPC, such search partners will not be added to your campaign to avoid expanding or avoid increasing the CPC for your campaign. The next is the optimized ad rotation. If you still have ad groups where the keywords or rather ads are not optimizing for optimal visibility, in those cases, this will set those ad assets to rotate for optimal visibility. You also have targeting expansion, which primarily works for display campaign. It allows you to reach additional customers at a similar cost per conversion that you are currently incurring. We also have data-driven attribution as one of the auto-apply recommendation. When you choose to opt into data-driven attribution, this ensures that your conversion actions are on set on data-driven attribution so that all the touch points in a user's journey is attributed properly and adequately. If you still have any of your attribution, any of your conversion action attributed on non-DDA model, which is either a first click or last click or any other non-data driven attribution model, for those attributions, for those conversion actions, the attribution will be set to DDA and the proper attribution will be provided to all the touch points and all the channels that the user follows in their journey to get converted. We also have AAR adoptions available for add RSA and improve RSA ad strength. When you choose to auto apply add RSA, as I said earlier, this identifies those ad groups which currently do not have an RSA already, but does have an active ETA. For those ad groups, the system will add an RSA on your behalf. The assets for the RSA will be created with the existing active ETA within those ad groups. If the ETAs are not sufficient because of limited number of headlines and descriptions, it may look into the landing page as well. But the primary source for these headlines and descriptions are the existing active ETAs within those ad groups. When you choose to when you choose to opt in to improve RSA ad strength, this identifies those RSAs which currently have an ad strength of poor or average, and it improves their ad strength by adding more assets and improving the ad strength to excellent. Now, just so you know, by just improving your ad strength from poor to excellent, you can get around 9% of additional clicks or conversion for your campaign. And hence, it's very critical for you to have adequate and a proper ad strength for your RSAs. And improve RSA ad strength does exactly that for you. It identifies such RSAs and improves their ad strength by adding additional assets in terms of headlines and descriptions for that ad RSAs. Now, let's also talk about some of the grow your business recommendations that you can choose to opt into auto apply. Now, one of them is bid strategy opt in. So, as I said, most of the grow your business recommendation is around bidding strategy. So, you can choose to automate opting into any of the conversion or conversion value based bidding strategy. So, you can choose to opt into, say, for example, into maximize conversion. You can choose to opt into maximize conversion value and other conversion and conversion value focused bidding strategy. When you do that, any campaign that has enough data will automatically be put on those automated bidding strategies for your campaign to be able to utilize its budget properly and to give you adequate performance. Also, you can choose to opt into bid strategy target changes. Now, if you have any campaign that is currently utilizing target CPA or target ROAS, in those campaigns, if there is an opportunity of changing the target by a slight bit, by a slight margin, and that can result in getting additional conversion or additional conversion value, the system will do that on your behalf. The system will change your TCPA or TROAS depending on the campaign, and that adjustment can generate additional conversion or additional conversion value for your campaign. So that's what opting into bid strategy target change does. It automatically changes your target by slight margin to take advantage of the opportunities available in market and generate those additional customers, additional conversions, and additional conversion value for your campaigns. You can also choose to auto apply, add dynamic search ads. Now, I advise you to decide if your website is appropriate and if your client's business is an appropriate fit for this dynamic search ad. And if so, you can choose to auto apply add dynamic search ad. This will automatically create a DSA ad group based on URL is targeting for those ad groups or for those campaigns where there is an opportunity of adding DSA and that DSA can generate additional conversion. Now, when you choose to do that, the URL is targeting option that is selected for your DSA will always create URL is targeting with the URL that you have with the ad group within that campaign. Now you can also choose to auto apply ad keywords. Now when you do choose to auto apply ad keywords, this will again find those campaigns which can benefit by adding more keywords into them. This is again part of growth recommendations, and this allows you to grow your account and your campaign by adding more keywords because you have budget left out for that campaign. Now, as mentioned earlier by Gaurav, you can explore new opportunities for growth by taking advantage of Google Ads Manager account. So, if in case you manage your campaigns through Manager account, and if you have an MCC account, you can make bulk actions through your Manager account. You can choose to auto apply across all the accounts or across multiple accounts, which is part of one Manager account. So, you can log into your Manager account on Google Ads front end or on Google Ads Editor, and you can choose multiple account, and you can choose to auto apply some of these recommendations to all the selected accounts in that manager account. By using manager account, you're also staying in the loop. As new recommendations become available, you can learn more and apply them automatically with just a few clicks. Another benefit that you have of using Google Ads Manager is that you can maintain a consistency across all the accounts that belong to that one manager account. So when you choose to auto apply under one manager account and you choose all the accounts that belong to that manager account, you can choose a definite set of recommendation that you can choose to auto apply across all the accounts that belongs to that manager account. So that's another advantage that you have when you use Google Ads Manager account and you choose to auto apply through Google Ads Manager account. You also have a seamless manage it all option, which means you have a clear view of all the recommendation you have automatically applied to your accounts and make changes whenever you had like. So you have a single dashboard through which you can monitor all the recommendation that you have applied across all the accounts that belong to that manager account, and you can also always choose to apply or make changes to the list of recommendation that you have opted in through that manager account. Let's also quickly bust some of the myths around auto apply recommendation. Now, one of the myths that we get to hear a lot is applying recommendations automatically increase your client's budget, which is untrue. The fact is, auto apply will not support any budget growth recommendations. So, any budget raising or budget reallocation recommendation is not part of auto apply. So, your auto apply cannot make changes to your budget allocation, or it cannot increase or decrease your budget for any of the campaign. However, when you choose to auto apply some of these recommendations, they may help you optimize your spend that within the budget that you have defined for the campaigns. So, say you have a campaign which has say $500 of ad budget assigned for per day ad spend. However, with your current targeting, you're not able to utilize the overall budget assigned for that campaign. When you choose to auto apply some of these recommendations, they may help you achieve your target. They may help you pace your campaigns properly, and you have a proportionate ad spend for the campaigns that you already have set budget for. But it will not make any changes to your budget allocation. It will not reallocate budget from one campaign to other either. The other myth is it's hard to track changes that have been made in the account when the change history doesn't reflect these updates, which is untrue. As explained earlier, you can always go back to your change history and you can apply a filter for recommendation auto apply, and you can see the list of changes that happened as a result of opting into auto apply. So, yes, change history does reflect any change that happens as a result of opting into auto apply, and you have an option to apply that filter and check those recommendations in change history. Now let's quickly talk about our vision and our roadmap for auto apply as well as optimization score and recommendations. We understand that as a product, Google Ads and its features can need improvisation as and when we process. We gather feedback from these camps like this one, from the consultant like yourself. You share your feedback, and we take those feedback and then we work in improving the quality of our products. Now, there are some vision and roadmap that we have for the rest of this year as well as the next year. Now, one of the focus of our opportunity is that we want to provide you end-to-end support when it comes to optimization score and its recommendation as well as auto apply recommendation. So we are going to infuse recommendations into the campaign creation and troubleshooting process. We'll talk more about this in the coming slide. The other opportunity that we see is to include new channels and also expand the coverage of auto apply recommendation as well as OptiScore recommendation. So we're going to bring recommendations to campaign types like Performance Max, which we have already recently launched. And we are also including more platforms like SA360 very soon. And you will be able to see recommendations in those platforms and surfaces as well. Another opportunity that we see is scale and growth. We are going to make auto apply more transparent. We have done some change in the recent past to make auto apply more transparent, and we're also going to make it easier for you to use auto apply in your accounts and in your campaigns. And as a process of that, we have recently launched, as mentioned by Gaurav also earlier, the ability to opt into auto apply through mobile app of Google Ads as well. We also know that we have to improve the trust of auto apply, and hence we're going to improve the change history. We're also going to improve the dismissal features, and we're also going to make overall recommendation quality improvement to ensure that the recommendations are something that you can trust on. And as you must have noticed, since 2019, when optimization score and recommendations were launched for the first time, there've been leaps and bounces in the improvement of the quality of these recommendations. We are working on improving the quality even further, and we are bound to make those changes in order to improve the quality of recommendation for your campaign. And one of those improvement that we have recently made is to make the recommendations goal aware, so that it's aligned with the goal of each and every campaign, and hence the recommendations are more aligned with your campaign performance focus. Now, let's quickly look at some of these recommendations or the changes that we are hoping to make in the near future. Now, one of the major update that is coming to recommendations is the inclusion of recommendation in your campaign construction. Very soon, when you go to your Google Ads account and start creating a new campaign, you may see recommendations like the one that is displayed on this screen. So while you're creating the campaign and you select your settings, within those settings, you will see the optimal setting that you can apply. And when you apply those settings, you can see there's a jump in your optimization score as highlighted on the right side of your screen. Say, for example, you choose manual CPC as your bidding strategy. When you do that, a recommendation comes up which says bid more efficiently with a given bidding strategy. Say, for example, in this case, it says bid more efficiently with maximize click. When you opt into that, when you select and apply on that, the optimization score on your right panel increases from 61% to 73%. Now, this is going to be part of your campaign construct. So while creating campaign, there itself, you have the best practices and recommendations aligned with the best practices of Google Ads creation so that you can apply them then and there and improve the optimization score of your campaign. And eventually, the optimization score of your account will also increase. So that's one change that we are working on. And very soon, you will see this campaign construct recommendations surfacing for your account and for your campaign creation as well. Another change that we are working on is to include one-click recommendation experiments. So those recommendations that can be chosen to be applied as an experiment to your campaigns are going to be available in your experiment tab as well. So on the left pan of your Google Ads account, you see there's a tab called experiments. So what we're doing is that the next time you log into your Google Ads account very soon and go to experiments tab, those recommendations that can be opted or that can be created an experiment with will appear there as displayed here on this screen. So there are two recommendations here which can be opted for experiment, like you have upgrade your existing keywords to broad match. So you can create a drafts and experiment with the broad match, or bid more efficiently with maximize conversion value using a target ROAS. So since those two recommendations are eligible to be created as an experiment, they'll be available under experiments tab on your Google Ads account very soon. Again, in order to improve the availability of recommendations across multiple touch points within Google Ads, we are making these changes. Now, another area of focus for the product team right now was to improve ease of use for auto apply. And in this series, you might have seen very recently, we created two different buckets of recommendation. So previously, we used to have bifurcation of recommendation on the basis of category that they fall into. So you used to have some recommendation under ads and experiment, some recommendation around keywords and targeting, the others under base and budget, and so on and so forth. With the recent change, you can see that there are two different buckets that we have created to make very transparent approach and to ensure that you understand that some of these recommendations are there to drive efficiency to your campaign, which are called maintain your ads recommendations, and the others are there to grow your business. And those are bucketed into grow your business recommendation. They are more strategic in nature. So that's another announcement that we recently made. And I'm proud to say that this has been well received across agencies, across practitioners and advertisers. And we're happy to gather your feedback as well. If you have anything that you want to share about this recent change, please do let us know in the comment. Another improvement or another change that we are hoping to make is to improve the notifications for auto apply. In a lot of discussions that we had with consultant like yourself, we gathered that there is a need to improve the notification system for auto apply. Currently, the only process through which you can check all those recommendations that were auto applied to your campaigns is through change history. So you can go to change history, you can apply a filter for recommendation auto apply, and that gives you a list of those recommendations that were auto applied to your campaigns and ad drops. Very soon, we're improving the notification system for auto apply as well. Now, one of the ways is that on the notification tab at the top of your screen, as you can see when you log into your Google Ads account, right next to your ID, there is a notification bubble. When you click on notification bubble, that brings out all the recent notifications that you have received. And very soon, auto apply recommendations or auto apply activities will be available as a notification every time there's any recommendation that is auto applied to any of your campaign or any of your ad group. Which means the next time a new keyword is added to any of your ad group, which belongs to any of the campaign, you will get a notification that says view auto apply activity. You click on it, and this takes you to the list of recently made changes to your Google Ads account as a result of opting into auto apply. The other way that we are working on to improve the notifications and improving the transparency of auto apply is through auto apply filter within your recommendation tab. So when you go to recommendation tab, you currently have all and five other buckets in which recommendations are divided. And then you also have a dismissed recommendation filter that you can apply, and you can check all the dismissed notifications or all the dismissed opportunities within recommendations listed down there. We're adding another tab or another filter there, which is called auto apply. When you click on auto apply, this will bring on the list of all those recommendations that was recently auto applied to your campaigns or to your ad groups. Again, a process through which we are trying to improve transparency and trust on auto apply recommendation. Another recent change that happened as a part of transparency and trust improvement is that if you're a user of Google Ads mobile app, you may see that in your recommendation tab, it gives you a list of those recommendations that will soon be auto applied to your campaign. So when you go to your Google Ads mobile app, you go to recommendation tab. Under there will be a screen. There will be an option to navigate to the list of those recommendations that will soon be auto applied to your campaigns. So that's another initiative that we have taken and went through in order to improve the notification for auto apply recommendation and improve the trust that you have on auto apply recommendation. Now, as a next step, this is what we suggest you to do. We suggest you to visit your recommendation space to review available opportunities frequently. Everyone has their own way of doing it. There are some people who prefer to visit the recommendation tab as first thing every day. There are others who prefer to visit once on alternate days. And I also have met people who prefer to visit recommendation tab once in every week. Now you can choose how frequently you want to visit your recommendation tab. And that also depends on how many new changes or how many changes you make to your campaigns and to your ad groups, or how many new campaigns do you create. If you make frequent changes to your account, if you make frequent changes to your campaign, I'll suggest you to visit recommendation tab frequently. The reason is that with every change that you make to your campaign, with every newly created campaign, there'll be new opportunities that will be available for you to improve the performance. It can, with every change that you make to your account and to campaign, it can either increase your optimization score or decrease it. In any which way, you may see that some recommendations are either surfacing, or because you made changes to your account or your campaign, or indirectly through campaign optimization process, you may see that some of these recommendations which were available previously are gone because you have made those changes indirectly to your campaigns or to your ad groups. Say, for example, you had a recommendation to add new keywords to one of your ad group, but you went ahead to your campaign performance report and you saw that there is an opportunity to add keywords in a particular ad group. You added them. Now, this recommendation that was available under a recommendation tab will be taken off, and your optimization score will increase because you were able to indirectly apply the recommendation that was surfaced for your account, for your ad group. So, with every change that you make, your optimization score and its recommendations will change. And hence, we suggest you to decide how frequently you want to visit recommendation tab based on how frequently you make changes to your campaigns and to your ad account. The next step is to apply recommendations or follow up with your AM. If in case there is any recommendation that you want to apply, but before applying, you want to get a clarity. If you have any questions, if you have any query, you can always reach out to your AM. They'll help you understand those concepts better. They'll help you understand how those recommendations are decided, and then you can decide to opt into those recommendations. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your AM and get your questions clarified. You can always dismiss recommendations you feel aren't right for your account. So if there's any recommendation that you feel is not aligned with the campaign objective, it's not aligned with your objective of the account, in those cases, you can always dismiss those recommendations. The only request that I have, however, is when you dismiss such recommendation, please do share a feedback along with. That will help us improve the quality of recommendation for your account and for others who are managing and having similar recommendation for their account as well. Now, the next step is to identify repetitive manual optimization and work with Google team to automate through auto apply recommendation. So when you apply these recommendations through recommendation tab, some of these recommendations might be repetitive in nature, right? They might appear more than once in every week. If there are such recommendations, please talk to your Google team, or you can also choose to auto apply such recommendation through auto apply recommendation page. So such repetitive optimization levers that you frequently have to manually apply, you can choose to auto apply such recommendation through auto apply page. And the last but not the least is obviously to review your optimization regularly with digital marketing teams. Do get in touch with your digital marketing team, talk to them, review your optimization score, review the opportunities that you have, review the recommendation that you generate, and work upon those recommendations in order to improve the optimization score and eventually increase and improve the account performance that you're working on. So those are the next steps that we suggest you to do. And with that, we are about the end of the session. I know there are some questions. I'll go through them. I'll try to address them. Okay, so one of the question is, could you tell some success stories with AR, which recommendation worked great? Thanks. Okay, Damian. So some of the recommendations that has really worked. Again, as I said, this depends on the kind of business and the kind of client that you are managing. Uh, a lot of say hygiene recommendations has definitely helped a few of the customers in order to improve the efficiency. However, the recommendation that has recently got a good attention and has good potential of improving through AR is opting into bid strategies and opting into target change for your bid strategy. So, say for example, you have a TCPA campaign or TCPA bidding strategy for one of your campaign, and you want to optimize your bidding or your targeting. You can adjust that, and you can allow Google's machine learning and AI to make adjustment to your target slightly, and that way you can generate additional customers to your business. So that is one of the recommendation that has recently seen quite a bit of adoption, which is opt into bid strategy or opt into adjust bid strategy across the campaigns. Another question that I have is, does Google consider bid strategy budget changes applied via AARs also as significant changes? That okay, so here's the thing. The budget change is not supported through AAR. As I said earlier, the budget changes are not supposed to supported through AAR. Your bid strategy change, however, may happen, and that is considered as a major change if the bid strategy of your campaign is changed through auto apply recommendation. But since it's a system generated change, system already is aware of the changes that it is making, and hence the learning period is substantially less as compared to manually making those updates. Another question is from Saurav. One Google rep said auto apply is going to become mandatory in future. Is that correct? I am not sure. I'll suggest you to talk to your Google rep. But I don't necessarily, I don't think that's how it is going to be. Auto apply is always going to be a thing that you will have a control over. You can choose to auto apply, and you can decide when to disable, when to opt in the auto apply features in your account. But if your Google rep has said something, you can definitely get in touch with them and then get it clarified. Another question is, I see no value in AAR for experienced users. I would actually, here's the thing, Michael, if you remember on one of the slides, Gaurav mentioned if you have large number of accounts, a large number of campaigns that you manage, I would suggest you rather to focus on more strategic initiative than to manually apply these optimization levers in your account. Say for example, if you have a campaign, if you're working for a client who's launching a new product next month, would you rather spend your time deciding what kind of campaign you're going to create? How are you going to ensure that there's enough traction for that launch? Or are you going to focus on manually applying these recommendations or going to your campaigns and optimizing those campaigns manually? I would have preferred the other way, which is automating those process, which can be automated, and focus on more strategic initiatives. That is really important for my client, and is critical for my client's next opportunity. Another question is, how does easy to manage the ad group impact performance? Now, as I said, some of these recommendations are focused on efficiency. So when I say easy to manage the ad group, it primarily is focused on improving the efficiency of your campaign management. However, when you are able to efficiently manage your campaigns and ad groups, it eventually translates into performance enhancement, and that's how it helps you improve the performance. Say for example, you have duplicate keywords, and you have fragmented data across 15 different types of keywords which are near variant of each other. Now when you consolidate that data, when you remove the redundant keywords and consolidate data to one particular keyword, right, you have an uncluttered ad group. The added advantage is that all the data will be consolidated for that one keyword. So Google will have a larger sample size data to decide and to automate other processes, to navigate and to optimize your performance for that one keyword, as compared to having 15 different variants and data bifurcated for those 15 keywords. So that's how it helps you improve the performance of your campaign as well eventually. But the focus for these recommendation, as I said, is to drive efficiency. Another one is, can repopulating of the OptiScore recommendations be switched off if we don't want it to reappear after we dismissed it? Yes, as I said, you can always choose to disable any of the auto apply recommendation, and doing that will ensure that that recommendation is not auto applied to your account. However, for OptiScore recommendations, as I said, there is a machine learning, there's a simulation process in place, and that simulation process decides if a keyword is relevant, and if it is, or a recommendation is relevant, and if it has a potential of adding incremental conversions or incremental conversion value to your campaign, and if so, that recommendation may resurface again. But if there's a recommendation that you think is not relevant and you want to avoid getting that recommendation, you can always share a feedback when you're dismissing those recommendations, and that will eventually decrease the frequency at which you get that recommendation, and eventually that recommendation, based on the review that we make, based on the feedback that you share, those recommendations in future will not appear for your campaign if it's not relevant. Another question is regarding ad audience segments for reporting. Is it enrolling audience segments only for observation? Yes, good call out. So when you choose to add audience segments for reporting, your audiences are only added under observation. Your targeting remains as is. Your targeting isn't changed. The keywords or the audience rather will only be added under observation, and after some time you can look back and see how those keyword or rather audiences are performing for your campaign, and then you can make other strategic decisions. For example, if I see a particular segment of audience working better for me, I'll go ahead and make headlines and descriptions targeted to that audience segment so that I can generate incremental benefit out of the identified audience segment. So yes, it only adds audiences under observation, and you can always look back at the performance and decide and make those strategic initiatives. Another question is, the most frequent recommendation I receive is to apply GA4 tag an extended conversion. The reason that you might see one particular type of recommendation, appearing more frequently is primarily because that recommendation has good potential. As I said, the recommendations are sorted on the basis of how much of potential they have. So if there's one recommendation that has high potential of driving incremental benefit, you may see more frequently that recommendation appearing for your account. Once you fix that recommendation, it will not surface again. A lot of these recommendations are one-time recommendation. Say for example, if you have any conversion tracking that you created but not completed, there will be a recommendation to fix that issue, which is called repair recommendation. Once you fix it, that recommendation is gone forever. So I'll sincerely suggest you to look for those recommendations, and if there's any such recommendation which is very frequent, see if there's some major focus that you need to divide in order to fix that particular issue with your account and campaigns. Another one is it's frustrating, although I always give feedback that this recommendation is not relevant for the account. If there's such recommendation, I'll sincerely suggest you to get in touch with your Google rep, share a detailed feedback, tell them that look, this is my account, these are the recommendations that are appearing here. I don't really think that these are relevant for my account. Can you please see into it and then ensure that I don't get to see these recommendations in your future, and we'll definitely look into such. I'll definitely need a particular case here because this is very particular to your account. So I'll probably need the account ID and other details, which I don't appreciate sharing here on a public forum. But you can definitely get in touch with your Google rep and share those details so that we can help you out with this. Okay, I hope it was a value add. I really had fun looking at all the questions that you all put forth. Thank you so much for taking your time out and being available for a quick session. I appreciate it. We are beyond time, and I still have folks on the call, which is wonderful. So thank you so much for your time. I hope I addressed your questions. If you still have any query, if you still have any questions that you want us to address, please do reach out to your Google rep. They'll direct those questions to us, and we'll try to get back to you over mail or other medium of communication. But I highly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being on the call. Thank you so much for being attentive, and thank you so much for the engagement. Have a good rest of the day, and thank you so much.